Students! Today we are going to talk about tuning your instrument. I have a violin, but this will also work for a viola, minus the E string. When you're tuning, you always want to start with your A string. This violin is in tune, so this is what it would sound like. So that's your A. And then you go to your D string. Then your G. And then your E. So that's what each individual string sounds like. When you are tuning yourself, what you want to do is you want to get your A string in tune first, and then what you really want to do is play your A and your D together so that the two strings, you can hear what they sound like together. So you can hear how that doesn't sound exactly right, even though your D is in tune. And that does sound right. Now your D and your G. And now your A and your E. So now I'm going to teach you how to do this. The first thing that you want to do when you're tuning, like I said, is you start with your A string, which is when it's on your shoulder. It is the second string from the right. So you want to either pluck your A string or use your bow. And you want to use that in conjunction with a snark tuner or a tuner app that you can find online. And when you're using a tuner app or a snark tuner, what happens is you're going to make a sound and there's going to be a color differentiation on the tuner, and you want the line to be right in the middle. That's how you know it's in tune. So you start with your A, and if it is not in tune, we start with our fine tuners. So I'm going to put my bow down. Fine tuners turn right or clockwise. And when you turn them right or clockwise, they get shorter. And that makes the pitch go higher or sharper. When you turn the fine tuner to the left, the fine tuner gets taller and the pitch goes lower or flatter. So let's hear what that sounds like. So I'm going to turn this fine tuner to the left, which means it's going to go counterclockwise. And the fine tuner is going to get taller, so the pitch is going to get lower. And that's not in tune. So you want to put your bow on your string if you're using your bow to tune, and you want to take your hand, bring it to the lower curve of your violin, put your hand on the fine tuner, and you want to move your bow very slowly and consistently play and turn the fine tuner at the same time. Until you get the right pitch. So parents, if your student is having trouble tuning, what you can do is you can have your student bow the note nice and slowly, and you can step in and you can turn the fine tuners either to the right or to the left to tune the string. If you are unable to use your bow to tune, then what you want to do is you want to pluck your string, and while you can still hear the sound, you can turn the fine tuner until you see that your pitch is correct. You always start with your A string. That's your bass line. After you tune your A, then you go to your D. That pitch is a little low, so I need to make the pitch go higher or sharper. So I am going to turn my fine tuner to the right, which means my fine tuner is going to move down and the pitch is going to go higher or get sharper. You have to be careful when you're just plucking and tuning, because it's really easy to overtune. It's really easy. What that means is you can either go too high or too low. So whenever you're tuning, you want to go really slowly. So it's just a process. You want to take your time. That's your A, that's your D, there's your G, there's your E. If you're tuning a viola, you would start on your A, you would go to your D, then your G, then your C. Now, some of you may need to tune with your pegs, not your fine tuners. Your fine tuners are for really small adjustments. Your pegs we use when we're really out of tune. The pegs, I'm going to adjust my fine tuners so that we can be really out of tune, and I can show you what that sounds like. That's a really out of tune A. So what I want to do is I want to follow my string. Here's your A, all the way up to this peg for the violin. And to tune with a peg, what you want to do is to make the pitch go higher. You want to have continual pressure pushing the peg in and turn the peg away from you. Very slowly, incrementally. Now you can overtune really easily with the peg. So I just made that note very high, and my fine tuner is all the way up. So I can't use the fine tuner to adjust that. I need to use my peg to bring that pitch down. So very slowly, using that same pressure, I'm going to bring the peg towards me, turn the peg towards me. And now I'm going to make a final small adjustment with the fine tuner. And that's in tune. And that's how you would tune with your pegs and your fine tuners at the same time. I don't use my bow when I'm tuning my pegs because it's really easy for the pegs to slip. And if you don't have that continual pressure on the peg, what'll happen most often is the peg will just slip and your string can unwind. And then you have to wind your string back on, and that's kind of difficult to do sometimes. So that's how you tune. If you don't have a tuner, I really recommend the Snark tuner. It's a great little tuner to have. We have them here at Notasium, and I can put some links in at the description, at the bottom of the description, for iProducts and for Androids. There are a ton of free apps for tuners out there. So just get some help with your parents. Have fun tuning. Don't be afraid. Just go nice and slow. Have fun.